Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the DreamHack Open. We are live from Leipzig, Germany with day 2 of our festivities as we're counting down to day 3, where we'll have 8 of the top teams from this tournament all competing for that shiny trophy on the stage and $50,000. We just saw a lot of sweeps happen in this previous group. I already kind of recapped that. Dignitas 3-0 over Juicy Kids, Guess Who 3-0 over the Dudes, Fnatic 3-0 over Secret, and Gale Force 3-0 over G2. I don't know how that's possible, but it happened. Will it continue to happen? Probably not, especially not in this next game, as we have Guess Who going up against Dignitas. So we're switching up the groups a little bit. We're going from the previous group involving Gale Force and G2 to this next group. So we're going to have a little bit of diversity in play. I love it. I'm Axeltoss, by the way, joined by Quinn. Achieves actually joining me on the desk. Guys, good to have you over here.
Yeah.
Did you guys miss me on the desk?
I absolutely did.
Thank you. Quinn, you haven't been up here yet,
Yeah, you've never been here, man.
Yeah, I always miss you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Good to have you up here. But guys, we have a matchup coming here where we have 2 teams coming off of sweep wins in Guess Who and Dignitas. So what are your impressions right now?
Dignitas is a great team, especially with the pickup of Turtle. I thought that served them very, very well. I do think, though, that Guess Who right now has the best player in the world on their team, and that is Very Peak.
Okay.
Possible.
Wait, best player in the world?
I think so.
Wow.
He's good. He's good. Definitely could make a case for him. But it is battle of the perfect teams, too. Neither of these guys have dropped a series so far. So, I mean, you win this one, you're looking like the best team in it, at the Open right now.
And you're through. That's, again, want to emphasize that. The winner of this will be advancing on into tomorrow to join our existing 4 teams, Equinox, NRG, Flipside, and PSG. But here we are looking at Guess Who, and that is Pashy in the middle. He's a guy who's kind of known for forming these ridiculous teams and always being at the top of the competitive scene. And there's Very Peak, Quinn's best player in the world. This guy is a monster, not only in Rocket League, but Pashy and Very Peak in particular are very large people, like 6'7", 6'8",
6'8", I think.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
They're really tall. They're really big humans. But would they be considered a favorite here? Because they're going up against Dignitas, which is a relatively new team as far as rosters are concerned, a new org kind of getting into Rocket League as well. I'm excited to see what they have to offer.
I mean, Dignitas, these guys were in the RLRS last season, and they're still going to be this upcoming season, but with their pickup of Turtle, a former RLCS mainstay and a fantastic player, it's just so hard not to see them be more successful and look more like an RLCS quality team. I do think that they have a lot on their plate, though. Pashy's such a strong player, and he always puts together a team that always is able to make a run no matter what tournament you're talking about.
And both of these teams yesterday both looked really good. Yeah. Dignitas taking down G2 in a very convincing fashion. Yeah. And of course, we only got to see Guess Who play the Rocketeers, so perhaps not the stiffest competition. This will be the first time we've really seen Guess Who get tested on stream, though.
Absolutely.
And looking at Chicago there, he has been a player that has come onto the scene in a big way. But it's time for the Twitch chat to vote. It's your turn. Put in a hashtag Guess Who if you think Guess Who will win this best of 5. And go ahead and throw down a hashtag Dignitas if you think Dignitas will be advancing into tomorrow. And classic European versus North America matchup, we're seeing this here and there. Also something to mention, Guess Who, perhaps a home field advantage in a sense.
Yeah,
Pashy is German.
Yep.
Is Very
Freaky is also German. Very Peak is French.
Right, that's
Freaky
right. So
Very Peak is French.
Pashy and Freaky are German. Any Pashy and Freaky fans in the house? Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, there's some.
There you are. I'm hearing it. But now it's time to list our predictions. The Chiefs, we'll start with you.
Gotta go with Europe here. I think Dignitas is a good team. They've had a very good run so far, but I think you're about to run into a brick wall.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with him here and say Guess Who. I think Dignitas is a wonderful team, and they're the kind of team that's so aggressive. They throw all of their team into an attack, but Guess Who, such a strong defensive counterattacking team. I think this is the perfect play style for them.
I feel like they have so much experience, too. The Guess Who team, they've always been a part of the RLCS. Dignitas, such a young team, but an incredible team with a lot of talent. So I have Guess Who as well. But if Chicago, I think a lot of it has to do with Chicago. He's just such a great player, and he's burst onto the scene in a big way. If he can play fast and hard, maybe that's the key. But I'm not sure. I want to see what Twitch chat has to say. What did you guys vote for? 62% in favor of Guess Who. That's more or less, I guess, what we expected, but I want to invite our commentators into the conversation as well. We have Gregan and Shogun standing by. Guys, everyone seems to be in favor of Guess Who here. Are Are you thinking the same way?
I'm having a crisis right now because I find myself agreeing with Quinn about Fairy Peak being the best player in the world.
Oh, okay.
He's right. He's 100% right.
Yeah, you've got to say, Fairy Peak has just got better and better since we met him in early 2017, and he's got 2 quality teammates to join him. But as you said, both German players, and I'm sure they'll be loving the crowd. All
right, I'm excited to see what happens here. Again, the winner of this best of 5 moves into our final 8. So without any further ado, Shogun, Gregan, take it away.
Why, thank you. And I'm just going to bring attention to Turtle on Dignitas. What a meeting I had with him when I met him back at Amsterdam. I went up to him and I said, Turtle, I love the way you play. And he went, I love the way you talk. And now he's my favorite American player.
Okay.
So I'm going to be supporting Dignitas just with my heart, but my brain is going to say, guess who?
Well, it should be very interesting. Turtle's also got an innate 6th sense, not in game, but for when a camera is on him, making sure he gets those silly faces off. We'll have him in a competition against Scrub Killer one day for who can make the most faces at that particular time. However, this should be very interesting indeed. The majority German team, the hometown boys, going to have the fan support behind them against Dignitas, who we saw play yesterday and had a very impressive defensive showing. Offensively, they seemed pretty by the numbers, but defensively, they were just so quick at rotating the ball out.
Can we just remember who they beat? It was G2, right?
Exactly.
And we just saw G2 on stream, and people were talking about how good G2 are. But when they were against Dignitas, Dignitas just made them look bad because they were so strong at defense that there was just no room for G2 to do anything. So that is where Guess Who are going to have to find a new gap. How can they get it past the impenetrable Dignitas?
Now, Dignitas' defense is coming up against Guess Who are so good at adapting throughout a series. They've got Pashi behind there. He's usually an ideas guy. He's someone that's sort of looking around to see what mistakes are around the field. And he's also so physical as well. So Dignitas, whilst having an incredible defense, is going to have to see just how varied that defense and how much that encompasses, because they're about to take on a lot of offensive pressure.
And Fairy Peak, that man who you and Quinn can agree on is the best player in the world.
Don't repeat it out loud. I just don't believe it myself.
Well, we're going to see them now as we go down onto the pitch. Guess Who versus Dignitas to go on to day 3 of DreamHack Open in Leipzig.
Yep, 4 spots taken, 4 spots remain. As we will find out as Freaky wants to try and chase this one down. Zol takes the ball away, and now a quick counterattack could come through, but it was a little bit mixed up in the midfield by Dignitas. Fairy can't quite make contact. So now up the wall Turtle goes. He's going to have to try and chase down Freaky, who did win the challenge. And a big miss from Pashi. Fairy Peak has to try and recover. Still very shaky from Guess Who to start the game off, and they will hand over the first goal.
That was very unusual in the way they played that first moment there. A lot of misses, a lot of miscommunication on who was going to hit it, and that opened up a chance for Zol to send it towards an empty net, and Dignitas will be feeling comfortable with that start.
Well, the good news for Guess Who is it only gets better than that. Every single player ends up missing the ball. Fairy Peak wins the ball, but loses his car's life for it. Pashi finds himself downfield. He can turn around and follow this up if he wants to. It looks like he's going to try off the backboard. Follow-up is available for his team. Fairy Peak gets shut down by 2. And now Freaky needs to keep the pressure on before everyone can rotate back. He's managed to do so. Still available for Guess Who to try and bounce back nice and quickly. The shot comes in. Could be followed up yet again, but into the path of Turtle. And Guess Who prodding away at the goal, but nothing overly dangerous.
Yeah, just very simple stuff, using that sidewall to send it to the middle. That is what you'd expect early on in a game, the kind of testing phase. What is your opposition like in defense? Where are they rotating to? And as a consequence, how are you going to pass it around them? And at the moment, Chicago, Dignitas, the whole team have looked really good in that goal line, in particular, making saves.
Pashi, we're glad that the counterattack is not that quick, as he did double commit over with Fairy. Freaky also tried to turn the ball in. Here's Zol. Wanted to see if he can try and pressure Pashi just a little bit, but he has enough boost now. 2 players out. Opportunity for Dignitas to move forward. 2 players yet again committed. Guess Who not liking the pace that Dignitas are bringing to them in game number 1. As we are now into the orange side of the field. Backflip for Turtle. Shot comes in from Pashi. And I still have nervous feelings whenever I see that yay celebration, because it reminds me of him versus Team Secret.
Yes, there we go. Pashi getting a goal to level out the score. And as you mentioned, he was the golden striker in RLCS Season 4 due to that monstrous performance on the final week, just scoring goal after goal. And if that is the case today...
He didn't score goal after goal, he scored yay after yay.
With that celebration, the party time. But yeah, Turtle's going to be feeling a little bit bad about that backflip. But I'm sure he'll bounce back, and the rest of Dignitas will support him through, as this game has looked pretty even.
Yep, certainly mistakes to share across the board. So, took the ball up high. Every single time they tried to do that, however, guess who have got members of their team planted on the walls, ready and waiting for the ball. Very launches it long. That should be going straight back over to Dignitas, who trying to infield pass. Just a little bit too heavy for Zol to meet the end of, however. It's a team that's exploded onto the competitive scene, and now Pashi wants to explode down to the other end of the pitch. Freaky going to choose to hold back, because he is now 2v1 against Zol, but the very good shadow play. Sometimes all you have to do as a defender is just look like you are capable and keep your spacing correct. That will slow down the pace enough for your teammates to come back and help you.
Especially if they're rotating back, because they are not seen by the player with the ball. They're in your blind spot, so they can challenge the ball knowing that no adjustment is going to be made by the ball carrier. So we're now into the second half. What is going to be required for these two teams to score a goal? And I think Fairy Peak is the one we are asking for Guess Who. What's he going to do to break up this Dignitas defense?
Going to have to do something very interesting indeed, because Dignitas are looking very interesting with the way they're pacing this. It just seems like they're a step slower than the average team. And that actually makes them more dangerous, because Guess Who want to try and play at pace and clear as quickly as possible. But because what's being moved towards them is simply not as quick, they are struggling to really settle into that. Turtle wants to get a block, but he's going to be over the top. Fairy sets himself up, but it's just a little bit too heavy for him to end up reaching. Minute and 20 still remaining, all tied up 1-1 in our first game of this series. A spot in day 3 on the line, but what a demo! Chicago makes it 2-1.
You just see Turtle at the final moment sneak by that post. You may have transparent goalposts, but you do not see Turtle as he sneaks in. And it couldn't have been timed better. The ball going through the explosion of that demolition.
And that was a perfect example of what I was talking about previously. Slowing the pace down, and it means that Guess Who have to stop their play entirely to figure out what's next. Guess what's really easy to do when you've stopped entirely?
Get destroyed.
Absolutely. Pashi, long ball, 2 players committed. Dignitas need to avoid that if they want to hold onto this lead for 50 more seconds. Chicago's got options, flicks it up high. Freaky. Be happy to see that Zol wasn't quite there in a dangerous position, as they still chase that goal to tie up this game. Zol and Chicago together now. Tried to go for the flick, couldn't quite reach it. 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Turtle has to try and jump out of the way of Fairy Peak. As Guess Who, not too dangerous over in the corner. They'll actually be happy to start again from square one, as they can maybe put something a little bit better together. Long ball's being played from Guess Who, and it's actually going to work out, but a terrible touch will take it away from the oncoming striker. And with 10 seconds remaining, Dignitas are still on the offensive. 2 players committed yet again. One final chance for Guess Who to make it happen. Very big over the top. What a save from Chicago. Another one comes in. Hits the floor. Game 1 to Dignitas.
They have built a wall there. Dignitas cannot be scored on, and they couldn't be happier. Look at that smile on Turtle. They don't know how that worked. Fairy Peak boomed it over the top. It was saved into the crossbar, boomed it into the keepers, and it was kept astray. Dignitas go 1-0 up in this series.
You got to those final 20 seconds, you just feel the pace starting to ramp up, like there was going to be one more major situation to deal with. And it actually came, if we rewind back a little bit, from a completely unnecessary Dignitas double commit downfield, in Chicago literally saves his team's game 1.
We ask a lot of people, what's the save of the day going to be? And yesterday it was quite hard to find them. Today we've had plenty, but I think that might be the best one we've seen so far.
Nothing more crucial, but absolutely.
In terms of timing, Zol and Chicago working together in consecutive saves to stop Fairy Peak scoring. But that's just the first game. They've got to take another 2 against Guess Who, and I can tell you they were ramping up in those final moments.
Yep, plenty of game left to play. Fairy Peak kept quiet in game 1. It seemed like he was a link-up player more than anything, as sort of aimed at towards the midfield. Couldn't quite get 2 consecutive touches to go, however. As we head on over to Neo Tokyo for game 2. Gregan what is the major differences you would like to see from Guess Who? How do they break down this stonewall defense of Dignitas?
They just need to make better touches towards each other. There was a little bit of selfishness with every play, looking to just carry that ball forward into the Dignitas players, hoping they'll be able to make a mistake. That just isn't happening.
Shot from Pashi. Two players from Dignitas quite close to each other yet again. As Zol will loop the ball away and slow down the play. Exactly what they needed at that point in time. Shot from Pashi. Actually flicks it up high, wants to go for himself, but Zol, I've never quite rated him that highly as a game reader, but he is knowing exactly where to be every single time. Reads the potential backboard. Chicago just wants to play this to the side. He would have preferred a shot, but the pass was just too heavy.
Get the angle.
Freaky might be able to get this. It's gonna
what
be
an angle!
An incredible shot. Delays, sets up, shoots, scores.
All three of Dignitas commit, giving Freaky a window of opportunity. He has to be read there on the fly. They have to pre-jump that save. Freaky unpredictably hits it to the far post. Nicely done for him, and that's going to give Guess Who the momentum they need after that last game defeat.
Here's Zol. Dignitas want to respond as quickly as possible. He's going to try and go by himself. Ball going to be up high. There's barely any challenge from Dignitas in the midfield. Seems like they're happy to try and move back. Might not be a great idea as Ferry Peak takes a loose shot. Follow-up is going to slowly sneak through. Chicago gets there. Pashi almost try and bait out Zol to see if he would like to jump for that one. However, he does make the correct decision in staying on the ground. And now Zol looking for the passing play. Almost a minute and a half played now. Guess Who up by 1 goal. Looking to respond after previously losing in our very first match. Now Turtle can't quite block. Chicago puts the ball up high. Would have liked to send that one go a little bit more infield since Zol was waiting for it. As Dignitas just trying to clear out Guess Who players, but nothing too dangerous just yet.
Just Turtle there for so long with 0 boost. And it's because he doesn't want to leave the space in the middle. He's worried that something is going to happen from Guess Who. Doesn't take the time to go get some boost. That is the worry you always have against good teams. They know how to score from all sorts of locations on the pitch. So far, I would say Guess Who still have another gear they can reach, and I'll be interested to see whether they can get there and really challenge this Dignitas.
Here's Ferry with the setup, follow-up from Pashi. And now it is 2-0.
Ferry Peak, did he just pop that over one? Yes. The last player takes on Ferry Peak alone. You don't want to be doing that. Not Ferry Peak. He can do anything to take it past you. Does so and gets that short pass into the middle. Dignitas, where's the defense gone?
Just seems like they've wanted to move forward a lot more, leaving one behind. I mean, they left one behind quite often previously, but that one was a little bit further forward, able to shadow and make room for his teammates to get back. This time around, too far back, leaving 2v1 situations to come up. And
Turtle
that is an incredible solo play.
At the halfway mark, Turtle, after Chicago's 150-50, just air dribbles that towards the net, recognizes 2 defenders on the return, knowing that they're going to have to try and predict his angle, just changes it from left to right and sends that one home. That's got to be a boost in confidence there for Dignitas.
Half the game left to play. 1 goal separating these teams, as Dignitas really looking to offensively move forward. And now Ferry, this is an open goal. This is absolutely a certainty.
Yeah, when you see Ferry Peak flying up to an open net, that's always going in, especially when that ball just needed helping on its way. And a lost challenge results in a goal for Guess Who.
Looks like Ferry has changed his positioning as well, no longer being that midfield man to target. Instead, he's shadowing whichever player is playing the defensive ball and following up after that. That's twice now he's been able to get a breakaway just from a good defensive challenge. Turtle gonna go by himself. We've seen him do it once. This time he goes for the setup. Chicago unable to get up in air in time. So would love to try and follow his teammates' demo up. Chicago will have time, but not that much of it. Tries to go to the corner. This will slow down the play and allow Guess Who to sort themselves out. Not really too much happening right now. Yes, you can get setups, but for the most part, Guess Who are ready for everything moving towards them as Pashi now wants wants to try and take the ball by himself, sets up Fairy Peak,
That's
launches it out. It's another double commit from Dignitas, and this is becoming a very worrying trend for the North Americans.
Yep, when they're in the air against this Guess Who team, it seems they're just not quite judging the distance right. And in that situation, 2 people didn't judge it correctly, and Fairy Peak got it past them, setting up his teammate, almost taking it away from him. But he does leave it for Freaky, who finished it. And Guess Who have looked so much stronger this game. Just creating goal-scoring opportunity after goal-scoring opportunity, and Dignitas need to change something up.
They need to start using more of the field, if I'm being completely honest. They've managed to cover about a third of it because they've got every single player in the same spot. Give yourselves more options. Don't keep challenging the corner. Allow yourselves to get to the midfield and really put pressure on Guess Who have dominated game 2 after losing game number 1. Freaky has got plenty of time. Clears over to Pashi. Can't quite get the ball off the wall, but Freaky levers a shot towards the goalkeeper. Guess Who would love to put goal after goal past Dignitas to really make their statement heard. With game 3 looming on the horizon.
Yeah, so this game will almost definitely be going in Guess Who's favor. As another goal, Fairy Peak by himself, sets himself up off the backboard. But this isn't bad for Dignitas. They got that first game lead, which was huge, because now they've leveled it, and Dignitas can switch things up again.
Absolutely, 32 seconds remaining. Actually, see very little communication on the side of Dignitas. I would like for them to be talking to each other right now about what they can change moving forward. This one is pretty much in the books. Turtle wants to try and pick up some sort of momentum for his team heading into our next match. Ball up high. Fairy Peak is there in time. Seems like Guess Who were just more happy to take the challenges and play defense. We've seen a lot from Pashi's previous teams, how good the team's heat forms can actually be on the defense, soak up pressure, wait for the mistake to happen, and then go forward. And Dignitas, well, they made a lot of mistakes this game.
Yeah, they did, and once they started getting behind as much as 2-3 goals, they're going to have to commit a little bit more, because ultimately 5-1 is the same as 2-1. So fair play to them trying out those more aggressive plays, but next game they're going to have to strike that balance once again. Can they cover defense as well as they did against G2 earlier today, and they did in that first game, whilst also finding goal-scoring opportunities? But they did just get hit by a much stronger Guess Who in game 2.
I love that victory screen that we've got out there. Look at the explosions, it's just so happy. I would have loved if our defeat one just started flickering a little bit, as if it's just, it's not quite working. It's like an old chippy LED board.
I don't know if that's the most positive thing I've ever heard you say, bringing attention to sparkles in a graphic.
I am a fabulous man, Gregan. I like bright things.
Fabulous by look, fabulous by nature.
And this
gruff by
was
voice.
A fabulous game for Guess Who.
It was indeed, and
Gravelly
there we go.
voice.
That's the trophy.
You?
That is the trophy.
Don't insult me. Okay, yeah, that's really shiny as well. Let's look at that.
Yeah, the trophy. That's what they're competing for. And I don't think Dignitas, before they came to this event, were thinking about how much they could perform here. They didn't think, oh, we're going to win it. They thought, let's go have some fun, get some real practice together. And they've really showed up. Just remember, they're in this winners final because they swept the previous match, and now we are seeing them against their toughest opponent of the tournament yet. Guess Who? Can they step it back up in game 3?
Yeah, both of these teams coming into this series undefeated. Obviously, neither team will walk out of this series with the same title. Both teams taking an L. This here is going to be Freaky. Plays the ball over to the corner. Chicago and the rest of Dignitas holding back as they try and find a way through. Guess Who just soaking up pressure. Now Fairy Peak, big block from him. Even a bigger block from Chicago, removing the imminent threat. Zoe up high. Tursel will just be watching as that one lofts over him. Very late challenge coming through. However, Zoe and the rest of Dignitas have had the majority of the possession so far. Good setup there, Freaky.
Pashi's alone.
Yeah, Pashi will actually have the ball played over the top of him. Fairy Peak forced to play the ball into the corner. A very slow start to game 3. As Fairy Peak gets the setup, the follow-up. Freaky puts it to the wrong side of the net. And now Zoe will go to the air. He wants to try and set up a teammate, but no contact from him. This feels more like a game 1 than game 1 felt, to be
Dribble.
completely honest. Pashi leaves the ball open.
Oh, yes.
And just like that, guess who will take advantage of the 2v1?
You know when your teammate takes the ball away from you in ranked and you think, goodness, go away, I don't want you to be there. That is when you love it. When they end up scoring, and Freaky almost got bumped by Pashi. It was so close to being a terrible decision.
They grazed.
They did.
Definitely.
They did grate a little bit on each other. Traded paints, I think the term is.
Absolutely. Guess who? Going back to where they were in game 2. But how long will it last? Not long, really. There is going to be the equalizer.
That's a beautiful shot just below the crossbar. Lofted high into the box. Incoming Zol sends that in with great power. And I think both players attempted to make that save. I don't think they affected each other, but it was just so well placed that the save was not possible.
Much better direction from Dignitas as well. It just seemed like they were lost in offense in the previous match. This time, finding a way of getting through is the bread and butter, backboard and then follow shot. But if it works, it works. And now it is 1-1 with 3 minutes just to play. Zol clears over to Chicago. Puts that ball towards the net, but you're going to need about 3 touches if you want to get that sort of team play to work. Shot was always going to be a little bit too weak to get past Guess Who's defense. And now another 2v1 in net. Pashi's first touch is just a bit too heavy. You can see that they really wanted to go for the demo play. But as soon as that ball was running away, there was no real option for it. Pashi now up, takes the shot on target. And he will turn it in to make it 2-1.
Just watch from the defense's point of view. You do not expect to see Pashi come flying in from there and still be able to put it on net with that much power. Blind spot shot. And
Turtle forced a pre-jump due to Fairy Peak running after him. Basically, yet again, Dignitas sort of being told by Guess Who that you can't really have a static defense against them. Otherwise, they will be punished for it. Fairy Peak almost gets there. He's managed to pull out 2 players with his attempted shot. Be Chicago, uncontested, looking for the backboard.
A boost.
Actually allow Dignitas to set themselves back up for a lovely shot. Turtle can't quite make it in. But Zol will keep the offense going for Dignitas. They want to keep this going for a couple more waves. Double commit there from Guess Who. Shots, chance for Turtle for the setup yet again. Gonna go up, gonna go down. Who's on the follow-up? It is Zol! 2-2 yet again.
Those touches into the middle from Dignitas just kept putting the pressure on. Chicago from a completely crazy angle, flying up to that, drawing the defense out. And eventually Zol, given that shot opportunity, powering that in when the scrappy defense was landing. Now Guess Who have to try and find another response, because every time they get ahead, Dignitas just puts the pressure on.
You want to make day 3, you want to chance at winning the DreamHack Open, you are going to have to work for it. Chicago wants to tap down, lovely team play. Zol can't quite turn it in. One problem I have right now with some of these shots that we're seeing from both teams actually is the inherent need to go crossbar down. Means that many pre-jumps have actually been a smart idea so far. I would like to see more placement on these shots, maybe towards the sides, off the bar, off the post and in. It's a little bit too obvious right now, but even then, we've still managed to have 4 goals scored overall. Pashi off the ceiling. He's not going to get down for that. Zol can actually pass infield to the nobody that was there, and that bounce was awkward. That could go all the way in. Gregan, what just happened?
Guess what?
Guess who?
Guess what?
Oh, what?
Fairy Peak hit that wall at that point where it baits you in. You think, I can reach that first. But no, the power is hard enough that it's going to bounce off that wall. And because they're already en route to that ball, they think they can get it. And they're tough to read, and that is how that ball got towards the net. A vital mistake that has now put Guess Who back in the lead. Dignitas will be annoyed with that kind of level of play, but I think they can still come back. They've been showing they're strong in offense.
Yet another chance, 2 players forced to save. Zol will take his time setting up for the next run. Fairy Peak, what a clear that was. Gets it all the way downfield. Now Pashi looking to set up his French teammate. It's going to be very slow moving forward. Zol takes an early shot. That shouldn't trouble Guess Who, and it will not. But the main thing is getting the offensive pressure. Chance for Zol to move forward, but he was just too close to really go for the shot. As he was at an awkward angle. Dignitas are doing a great job of giving themselves offensive opportunities. Now they need to finish it off. 40 seconds remaining. And there is still plenty of opportunities for them to get back into this.
Oh, this is a chance now. Pashi has just tipped that one up to Zol in the air. Oh, saved away by Fairy Peak. but their aerial presence has been beautiful. Dignitas just looks so in control when they're off the ground.
A complete switch from game 2 where Guess Who were controlling the air. Now Zol with the tap down. Chicago, lovely block from him. Big opportunity for Dignitas. They're going to leave it. Here comes the shot from Zol. Off the crossbar yet again. Turtle too far forward. Shot is very slow. Dignitas, if they could just give themselves some room to work with and run onto the shot, this would be all tied up. Final few seconds. Shot, 2 players committed. Final chance for Zol. Not in. Guess Who will take game 3.
What a way to finish there. Dignitas, shot after shot, so close. Guess Who covering all angles, and there is just a slight bit of disappointment there you can see on Dignitas because they were strong that game. When you play that well and still don't win, that's when you're up against a powerhouse like Guess Who.
Any chance for us to speak to production and say we can get an alarm that just blares out across the entire venue whenever, you know, Dignitas and Guess Who are playing and it's 20 seconds remaining? Because it just seems like 20 seconds remaining and the games spring to a next level of entertainment.
So exciting.
Take a look at this. Dignitas, double commit, both of them trying to be the hero.
If one of them had stayed in the middle, they could have potentially read off that touch and then got a goal, but it's easy to say that in hindsight, Shogun?
It is, but it has been a reoccurring theme of Dignitas are so close to their opponent's net, and they're getting so many chances off the backboard, but no one's actually got room to work with. Where a lot of times, the ball bounces off the backboard, it's going to be pretty heavy overall. And because players are so close to the ball, it's just nowhere for them to take real shots.
Can I just bring attention to the fan clubs in the crowd? We can hear them back here. They are loving this game. When it gets tense,
we've got noise-canceling headphones and we can hear them. That's what makes it even better. Shot almost going in, but Fairy Peak has that covered.
Yeah, there's so many people backing both teams here. I'm sure Guess Who, the local players in Pashi and Freaky, got a lot of support. They are now on match point to try and get themselves into day 3 of DreamHack, get in for the money, and they just need to win this game, whereas Dignitas have a few more to win.
Pashi now off the ceiling to try and make something happen. Freaky will end up leaving that for Fairy Peak. Now he's got his opportunity to maybe consider causing some damage. Big demo, Turtle, be leaving that for Zol. He's also going to give an option downfield. He's actually got it over. Ooh. Low boost for Turtle will mean that he can't quite make too much more of that. But what a series we've seen so far. Turtle can get there.
Not quite.
Door shut down on Turtle's face.
So close there.
It really could not have been too much closer.
There's someone behind him coming in and disrupting it, but Turtle almost gifted an open net from a misplay in defense. I have noticed Fairy Peak has gone for a lot of stuff when he knows there's a teammate there, but I don't know if he fully trusts them in defense because he feels the need to go for things when he knows he can get a good touch.
Zol, long clear from him. Fairy Peak just seems to default to always clearing mid to the corner of his goal. Turtle just harassing Freaky over in his own net. Now Pashi by himself gets the ball up high over to Fairy Peak. Looking for the backboard. It should be uncontested as well, but Zol can take the ball over to the side. No real options for him to play towards. However, Dignitas will just be happy to have the ball away from their net. This is game 4 out of 5. Dignitas must win to send us into a tiebreaker.
Wasted touch there.
Now Pashi. Just tapping the ball around. Only one player committed at a time by Guess Who. This is why they wanted to see that mistake. Could have been a little bit more dangerous from Fairy Peak. But Guess Who now playing very reserved and playing more disciplined overall. Looking to maintain this offensive pressure whilst they can. And Dignitas, if they want to work this one away, either need to get control of the boost yet again or get a big challenge. It looks like they finally got the ball away. Pashi over to Fairy Peak. Fairy Peak looked to try and get back up to Pashi. That was always going to be a difficult angle to work with. Very slow-paced game 4 so far. I think both these teams recognizing now what is on the line.
Just notice the way Guess Who make their saves. It's never a big touch. They're always just dropping it down near them for a teammate. What I want to see from Dignitas is keep that pressure on. Stay close to the person saving it and see if you can read those mistouches. I mean, I say a mistouch. They're very intentional, but it could potentially be a mistouch if
put pressure on. Players panic. That's just a fact, especially when you put $50,000 on the line. Ooh. Chicago actually pulls out 2 players. Turtle will be by himself. A big play from Fairy Peak. Seems kind of wasteful, but neither of his teammates were in position to pass towards, so unless Fairy Peak went solo, it's always going to be quite difficult. Demo in the background, Freaky taking out Turtle. That's going to severely weaken Dignitas on the offense, but guess who keep missing balls off the wall, and they could be in a dangerous situation like they are in right now. Turtle wants to go off the wall with the setup. Actually an option there. Chicago puts the ball straight down. And yet again, the ball is played off the backboard. There is no one there to challenge it from guess who, and Dignitas not able to capitalize.
How many times have we got on board with Turtle and he's just got no boost? He seems to be struggling to find his place in the boost rotation, but his teammates are looking strong. There he comes flying in, but we're just noticing guess who a little bit more in control when they're upfield.
Fairy with the pass over to Pashi. Puts that one straight back over into the corner. 0-0 heading into our final minute. Their pass over to Chicago. That shot, once again, just needs a bit more spice.
Yeah, let's get curry powder on that. Get it fizzling.
I reckon I've cast a review after you just ate spicy chocolate. That was a great fun time.
Yeah, and then I rubbed my eye, didn't I?
That was even fun, even more fun. Here's the shot from Fairy Peak, forces 2 players to commit. Pashi off the wall, wants to buy his team time to reset into position. Freaky, 1 tap, can go for 2. He's got the setup. Here comes Fairy off the crossbar. Dignitas are still alive in the winner's bracket, but for how much longer? Pashi off the backboard. Follow up, it's off the crossbar yet again. Can we get someone to check it? It's probably got a dent in it now as Zol over to the corner. He's got Chicago behind him. The setup not quite there. Turtle straight into the path of Fairy Peak. And unless something can be made of right now, we will head into overtime. Maybe a possibility. Chicago, though, would much rather see overtime than guess who to take a shot.
This long kickoff is always an interesting one. It's definitely the one that creates the most space and the chance for a kickoff goal as Zol given an opportunity. Turtle trying to read that off the ceiling. Ends up just using all his boost, and now the counter is on.
Dignitas have had shot after shot so far this game, and guess who have had save after save. Turtle,
what a shot,
long clear, Freaky's caught out, and that is in! Dragon, let's go to game 5!
Turtle scoring the final goal of the game there, all the way from a distance as a player on Guess Who gets greedy going for that boost, not expecting it to make its way through the middle. And Dignitas are looking strong, definitely outperforming our expectations.
Look at the relief on Dignitas. They know they were in for a war in that game. Just seemed like they had the majority of the offensive opportunities, and finally they convert, but it wasn't out of their consistent pressure.
What a pass there,
It was out of an incredible counter-attacking play, and Turtle, after 3 shots, will finally find the net.
Now, I have a big question for Guess Who. Fairy Peak, their player, their most important player, has not been performing at the level he should. He is able to create the most incredible situations for his team, but I've just not seen that from him. This is the time where great players become most valuable players. This is what we've seen from Cooks here in the event so far. He's one of those who steps up when you need him. We need that from Fairy Peak right now, but as far as Dignitas goes, they just need to play as well as they are here. Those opportunities they're creating for themselves, it's really testing this Guess Who defense. And as long as they maintain the pressure, I think we're going to be seeing a close game 5.
Absolutely. Dignitas doing a very good job throughout its entire series of creating opportunity for themselves. The main complaint has always been on the finish. And now that they seem to be starting to find it, game 5 could be very worrying indeed, as we will head into our tie-breaking match. Guess Who versus Dignitas. One will head through to tomorrow's final stage. The other one will have to play one more time and make their way through the losers bracket.
Both teams making it to the winners final with a 3-0 sweep. So no matter what, they will be expecting themselves to both be in the top 8 tomorrow, but they want to relieve that pressure now, get it out of the way, get it done.
Oh, shot from Zol. There's going to be Fairy Peak in position. Don't worry, Greg, and I'm the exact same as you. I see an explosion, I automatically just go, oh, it's going to happen. Fairy Peak now plays the ball straight down, going to go straight into the path of Freaky. However, that touch from the defender just to speed the ball up as it went towards the ceiling was enough to not allow Freaky to get there in time. First goal is going to be crucial here. Big shot from Turtle. Guess who caught out of position? And first blood drawn by the North Americans.
Pashi and Freaky taking each other out, meaning that ball lofts into the middle, requiring all three of them to hope that they can get there first, but none of them able to outplay Turtle, who gets the first goal of this Game 5. Dignitas in the lead. It's plenty of time now for us to level the score or for Dignitas to take it away.
Dignitas are the team that is going to be in the much more comfortable position because guess who? There's a different style that you play when you go down in Game 5. You start to get a little bit more panicky, go for things that you wouldn't normally, and now more mistakes happening from guess who? Dignitas were denied previously due to stout guess who defense. But if that defense starts to crumble, Dignitas can open the floodgates and score goal after goal. Chicago wants to clear, doesn't quite get there in time. Another double commit. It seems like they've shifted the curse from one another. The shot gonna go off the post, eventually sneaks in. Freaky loiters around and finds the pass off the backboard.
Pashi sending that central. That angle should not be scored, but Freaky finds it perfectly. Post and in.
I don't agree with the attempted challenge, however.
Yes,
the ball's from the corner. You know where it's going.
Yeah, the ball is in the corner. You know that he's going to just whack it into the corner as hard as possible, trying to center it. Turtle could have waited a brief moment. But then again, it's been working for them, pressuring the ball. It's just certain situations you have to change that mindset. Just to be a little bit more cautious, especially when you're last back and the ball's in the corner.
Here's Pashi now. Steals the boost as well. Going to try and play the ball all the way out. It's going to be a block on Fairy Peak's attempted shot. Now Chicago takes over. Lovely play just to take it past one. Now the ball boomed off the backboard.
All the boost stolen by Zol.
Turtle played it pretty weak. Here comes Freaky. He can take a shot. Dignitas doing a very good job of getting blocks rather than saves. There's potential there for them to shadow the ball away, which they have now done. Chicago got the ball into the corner as Freaky finally moves the ball to the side. We are still all tied up, heading to the second half of this tie-breaking game. Fairy Peak gets beaten the challenge by Turtle. How well can he recover? Not quite enough, but the follow-up shot! Chicago has put Dignitas up by 1 goal with 2 minutes 27 remaining.
Turtle so smart in that challenge with Fairy Peak, just going high. He didn't need to go behind that ball, he just needed to block the attempt to clear from Fairy Peak. Created an awkward situation for Freaky, who clears it straight into Chicago's path. And now we're seeing Dignitas back in the lead. They have been shooting much stronger in the latter parts of this series.
Fairy gets it over the top of one. Guess who need a goal soon. Otherwise, they're going to be forced to make plays that they don't necessarily want to. Turtle launches the ball downfield. Expect to see more and more of that from Dignitas as the series goes along. No need for them to score anymore. Just keep that ball away from your net. Looks like they're going to try and do that through pressure. Chicago going to back away from this as more pressure comes through from Guess Who. That bounce down is actually very awkward, and Guess Who are going to have to try and retreat back as quickly as possible. Ball off the backboard. 2 players committed yet again. It's almost like a curse that these two seem to be like switching amongst one another. We started off the series with Dignitas double committing to everything. Now it's Guess Who. The follow-up shot can come through, pushed all the way down. Now Turtle will happily slow play over in the corner. Can't quite block Fairy Peak. It's actually almost a setup from Chicago, who will now finally try and clear away. Still not much power on it. Pretty much all the boost stolen away as well from Dignitas, but they can play the ball out from their half. I mean, that won't be too much of a worry for them. 1 minute remaining now. Guess Who must break down Dignitas one more time or be put down into the lower bracket. Here's Freaky. Just seems wasteful right now from Guess Who. Finally, Fairy Peak making something happen. This is the best chance Guess Who has had in so long. Freaky puts the ball down. A lack of shot accuracy will not really test Dignitas. It was fast-paced, but it wasn't dangerous. And now Chicago has plenty of time to waste. The shot comes through. Fairy Peak forced to save. Do they commit to this? No. They're just going to leave Chicago forward, leave him to keep slowing the play down. Dignitas must hold on for 23 more seconds. As every second of offense the North Americans get is another nail in Guess Who's coffin as they take shot after shot. Now, ball played long. Freaky, he's got enough boost to try and follow up. It's going to be him versus Turtle.
What
And
a
Freaky
shot!
will win!
What a shot from Freaky. Look how much power he put on that ball. But credit to Pashi, lofting that up when he recognized Turtle was alone at the back, giving all the power to his teammate to score. You've got to give respect to Turtle. He was close to that pre-jump save, but you have got too much to cover.
Left that one pretty late, didn't they? With 8 seconds remaining. We are all tied up, and it could be over before we even hit overtime. Guess who will try and nab one more to finish the series right now? I expect this one to be put down pretty quickly, but it seems like both of them wanting to get this to continue onwards. Dignitas will want to maybe put this down soon. The ball will finally touch the floor. We have got overtime.
Again. The long one. So much space from this kickoff, and you've always got to be worried for a kickoff goal potential, and that could be it. Ooh, close.
I hope that boost was worth it, Pashi. I really hope it was. One goal is worth day 3. Chicago can't quite pinch the ball as he wanted. Guess who have got the chance? Very peak with the shot.
What a save.
Chicago.
So good.
Any further forward, he was not reaching it, and now Turtle with the shot. Pashi can't get there. Dignitas make it to day 3.
Turtle coming in, clutching that overtime there, sending that ball in, and Dignitas have looked very strong. Definitely not expected to play this well at DreamHack, but guess who are going to have to seriously think about that? They want to be contending for one of the best teams in the world, and that is not a performance of a world beater.
Absolutely not. It was very sloppy from both teams throughout that entire series. A lot of double commits overall, a lot of missed opportunities to score. We could have probably seen the double scoreline from both teams. However, it will be Dignitas going through to day 3. Take a look at that. What a save from Chicago. And immediately, this is his reward for an incredible save. He watches as his teammates obliterate the Guess Who defense.
Let's go, screams Turtle. He knows how important that is. It's not over for Guess Who. They still have another chance. And I'd definitely say they're the likely team to get through because, as we said before, 3-0 for both Guess Who and Dignitas to get to this winners final. So a repeat performance from Guess Who will be required. But do you know what I want to hear?
Who do you want to hear?
I want to hear Axeltos and the rest of the gang.
You weird.
Thank you so much, Shogun and Greg, and what an incredible match there. I am so overjoyed at just how close that was, and for Dignitas to pull that through in overtime in Game 5 is absolutely superb. Let me go through Dignitas's run right now. This is a team that was, you know, relatively unknown, right, coming into this event. A roster
I don't know
that
about unknown, but
I mean, a new org picking them up, and a different roster from last season. Definitely a new team. They're taking out Rogue, G2, Juicy Kids, and now Guess Who? And guess what? They're into tomorrow. They're into day 3.
Yeah, this is an absolute dream performance for them. I mean, picking up Turtle has shown to be huge for them, from RLRS team to knocking out so many RLCS. I mean, top quality teams. The teams don't get any better than this, really. So this is huge for Dignitas. I mean, it just so much in store for this team.
Yeah, I said they were going to run into a brick wall. Well, they brought dynamite. So well played to you, Dignitas. That was a heck of a series, and you earned your way to day 3. I'm looking forward to tomorrow for sure.
We have a player on standby right now. Who is that over there? Chicago. Chicago's on standby for an interview from Team Dignitas. Chicago, dude, you guys are having a great run right now. Talk to me. How are you feeling right now after such a close match there against Guess Who to advance to day 3?
Oh, I'm still shaking. This is insane. I mean, after that, like, we just realized that we have to start challenging in the mid and not giving them, like, their free space so Fairy can do his crazy stuff and they just have their passing plays. So once we did that, I felt good, and that's how I felt like we beat them.
Yeah, Chicago, I mean, I saw you all the way back in that 2v2 tournament, Universal Open, making all the changes for your team, a disappointing a disappointing finish in the RLRS promotion series. I'm sure you remember that still, but picking up Turtle, I mean, he has been huge for your team. How does it feel now to come into DreamHack and make it into day number 3?
Oh my God, we were so excited when we got to day 2, so now day 3 is just even better. So, I mean, I feel like we can still win this. Like, as long as we keep playing well, like, we can beat anyone.
That's attitude.
Yeah, I mean, you probably one of North America's hopefuls, just like who's left?
Now we have 3 North Americans now in the round of 8. NRG, Equinox, and Dignitas. And to update everyone, G2 just beat Secret, so they still have a chance. But
yeah, so I guess one out of 3 already through to day 3. I mean, do you feel like North America might be able to take this one? Perhaps you guys?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah?
If not us, like NRG or Equinox, we're all playing our best right now, so I feel like we can beat anyone.
All right.
All right, Chicago, what's your main plan right now? You're done for the day. You're into tomorrow. What are the preparations going to be like as you get ready for tomorrow's match?
Nice dinner and then another 12 hours sleep.
That's the right way to go about it.
I want to do that too. That sounds pretty amazing. Chicago, thanks for your time. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, that's Chicago from Dignitas. Incredibly young player as well, a very young team overall. And to see them take out Mocket excuse me for saying that, to take out Guess Who.
It's been so long.
I know, just that much more impressive. Just such a powerhouse European team. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights from that one. All the way to Game 5. Overtime in Game 5, and Dignitas able to pull it through.
Yeah, just so many incredible plays all through this series, and you just see again
demo.
another demo. Turtle so good at all those bumps.
And really, Dignitas all series long, they had to play some tough defense because there were some fantastic shots. This was that game number 1 right on the goal line. Zolhe makes a great backflip save, and that was where I put out on Twitter. I was like, Dignitas was the brick wall. My bad.
Oh, and this shot coming in from Freaky, these tight angles. Just this game was full of amazing shots, and it just speaks to the quality on both of these two teams, and especially such a young team here in Dignitas. Being able to edge this one out is so impressive. Look at this air jump, just being 2 of those defenders. Oh, take a look at that.
And there was no shortage of offense, just like you were saying. Guess Who came out from almost everywhere on the pitch. There was so much speed going on from all of these guys out of the midfield. Dignitas really caught off guard a lot in that game number 2. They got absolutely blown out, but this was that Game 5 overtime. A great save by Chicago and a really good push all the way down the pitch. And a great win in Turtle with the let's go.
I love how pumped they all are being on that stage, and you could tell they are super excited about getting into tomorrow. And Chicago's like, hey, maybe we can win this thing. And I'm like, I'm not going to be the one to doubt him. I'm not going to be the one to doubt him. I want to go through the results of this group real quick because we had some other matches happening at the same time. The Juicy Kids ended up falling to the Dudes 3-1, and I was actually there in the player pit over there watching that happen. The Juicy Kids were actually up in the deciding game there. Game number 4, and the Dudes tied it up with literally 10 seconds left.
Oh, wow.
And the Dudes were able to take it in overtime, and Jazer was just absolutely crushed after the end of that. But I got to say, they had a great run through this tournament, but the Juicy Kids are out of the DreamHack Open. The Dudes advancing on to play against Guess Who. That's going to happen a little bit later. And then looking at the other group, the next match is going to be Gale Force versus Fnatic, but G2 Esports able to take down Team Secret. That was a very back and forth series. Game 3 actually went to overtime, and JNAP scored after 5 minutes of overtime.
Oh, that is brutal.
Yeah, to put G2 up 2-1, and then G2 able to close it down over Secret. So Secret is out of the DH Open. G2 stays alive, and G2 will be playing the loser of our next match. That being said, we're going to take a short break here from the DH Open. Coming up next, we have a best of 5 between Gale Force Esports and Fnatic to find out the next team who will be advancing on into our final 8 tomorrow. Stay tuned. We'll be back with a short break with Gale Force versus Fnatic.